she grabs the mic, she'll come out, do her thing. She comes off, the lectern goes on, the mic goes on, Karen comes on, she does all the spiel, when the other speakers come on, and then when she thanks the board, we sort of sneak up, put the microphones and the cymbal back, and then just hang out here for 1 second. Oh, we're pretty, yeah, I mean, those can see us, but we're not. But there's no point in us running down and running back out for 2 seconds.
Yeah, maybe we'll just hang back there.
Yeah.
So you're going to come from that side?
Yes, I'll come from this side.
And you're going to grab mic number 2?
Yes, I'll bring it up with me. Wait.
Money not happening to me, it's happening for me. The cycle's never ending, that's why now I befriend it. What you leave at nighttime will come find you in the sunrise. Mornings matter to me, and even when it's miserable, thankful for the day to come, oh, oh. And even when it's miserable, thankful for the day to come. I think the morning matters. I think the morning matters. I think the morning matters. To me, to me. After rest, I know what I need. Such a truth that only I see. I got those who knew and love me. Clarity is in my bedroom. Blessings greater than my problems. Bad mind people, I don't want them. Mornings matter to me. And even when it's miserable, thankful for the day to come. Oh, and even when it's miserable, thankful for the day.
You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work, bitch. You want a Lamborghini? Sip martinis, look hot in a bikini. You better work, bitch. You wanna live fancy, live in a big mansion, party in France. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. Now get to work, bitch. Now get to work, bitch. Bring it on, bring it on. Won't stop now, just be the champion. Work it hard like it's your profession. Watch out now, 'cause here it comes. Here comes the smash up. Here comes the master. Here comes the big beat. Big beat to blast ya. No time to quit now. Just time to get it now. Pick up what I'm putting down. Pick up what I'm putting down. You want a hot body? You want a Bugatti? You want a Maserati? You better work, bitch. You want a Lamborghini? Sip martinis, look hot in a bikini. You better work, bitch. You wanna live fancy, live in a big mansion, party in France. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. You better work, bitch. Now get to work, bitch.
Hello and welcome to the Midsumma Festival 2022 launch. It's the program launch today. I am Geraldine Quinn. We have got a fantastic evening for you in the live stream. We're going to be having a chat to some of our special guests. We've got some wonderful performers from across the program who are going to be here at the Malthouse on the outdoor stage. This is the biggest Midsumma Festival that there's ever been. There's over 198 shows across 119 venues. It's really going to be an absolutely fantastic year. The vibe is palpable. I'm here, my boobs are out, well, as much as is reasonable. I'm not sure that was appropriate, young lady, but I think we've got our first guest who's coming up now, Sam. Oh, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to have a chat to a very important person. It's Judy Smalls, the chair of the Midsumma Board.
How wonderful to see you.
It's so nice.
You look fabulous.
Thank you so much. I'm a cabaret performer, so I'm really used to looking that way and hogging the microphone. So I apologise in advance.
Whereas I'm a folk singer, so, you know, we just stand and sing. So, yeah.
I heard this about you. You've got a background as a folk singer and also a legal background. I'm going to ask you about the former. What was your instrument of choice?
My instrument of choice is the guitar. I'm basically, yes, 6-string, 12 strings, can't get my fingers around them these days. Yeah, it is, it is.
But so, were you a nylon or a steel string?
I'm a steel string.
Oh, she's got the calluses to prove it. Now, have you had a look at the program so far?
I have had a look at the program. It is just extraordinary. Our biggest ever.
It is. It's
95 separate events.
Isn't it more now?
Oh, maybe more. They don't tell me or anything.
You're too busy. You're the chair of the board.
Right. It is my great honour to be the chair of the board of Midsumma. It's an extraordinary organisation, and you know, things like this are just such fun, and they do fun fantastically. They work so hard. This is the second one of these they've done this year. So yes, this outdoor welcome launch and the second festival, you know, they will have done in 12 months. So they've been working their little bums off and doing an amazing job.
It's been such a support as an artist in the festival, everybody that's been involved, the way that the whole process works as an independent artist as well, and to be able to be here at the outdoor stage at Malthouse as well, which is a fantastic development.
It's a wonderful venue. We did the launch for the last festival here, and where else would we go now, I think, is the question.
It's just what a precinct.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely superb. And there'll be, of course, live performances and the obligatory speeches. We do have to do those. But of course we want to welcome people, and of course we want to recognise our sponsors and the people who make this whole festival possible.
And could it have been a better day weather-wise?
Well, I was just thinking that. It was the same last time, that we had beautiful evening and then it poured the next day. So I think one of the angels must be queer.
What do you mean one? Just one? What are you talking about? No, is there anyone you're looking forward to seeing? I mean, apart from myself, obviously.
Yourself. I don't think I could say. I don't think it would be fair to single anyone out.
You know what? That's what a good chair of a board would say. But
I'm looking forward to filling up my calendar.
I thought you were about to say I'm looking forward to filling in, because now we know about your musical skills. I could see that you would not only be good at that, but great at admin.
Yes, great at admin, except that I've got the best CEO in the world in Karen Bryant, and so I don't need to do the admin.
That sounds like the most blissful board. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
You too.
And have a fantastic evening here. We're going to see you on the stage.
Yes, you are going to see me on the stage, and happy Midsumma launch to everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Judy. What a pleasure to meet you. That's right. It's going to be around 200 different shows. This is a city, Melbourne, that's had so many festivals, had so many setbacks, and so many artists to be out here today across all of our festivals. And Midsumma is absolutely one of the most fun. Now, do we have another guest coming up, Sam? We have. Oh, we've only got one of my bestest and most shiniest friends. Could you please come and join me, Frock Hudson?
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
I feel really happy to see humans. It's weird, but
Without masks even.
well, this is a kind of a mask.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. You're
Now,
not wrong.
Frock, don't let me hug this microphone because you know what I'm like. What are you doing in Midsumma Festival?
Well, you know what's exciting for me about Midsumma is it's my 16th year. It is my 16th year as a part of the festival, so I'm calling it my Sweet 16. You're going to get sick of that title. I'm telling you now. I've got there's a whole host of events I'm going to be telling everyone about over the course of the next couple of weeks, but 4 major ones. One is a cabaret show in the first week of the festival called Sweet 16 #NeverBeen. So if you've never actually come to one of my shows, this is the one. This is the opportunity to do it. I'm also doing a kids show with Miss J at the Hair Hole, which now that Hares and Hyenas has moved to the Pride Centre, the Hair Hole is becoming a wonderful artistic space for everyone to be a part of. I'm also doing an online event with Pride Cup, where we're doing a Pride Cup trivia, where you, from the comfort of your own home, can be a part of the fun and win some things. And I'm doing a gin tasting, because why not?
Why not? It wouldn't be cabaret if you weren't doing a gin tasting.
Exactly. And you know what? When I heard that you were here, I'm like, well, I've got to up the glitter, get the wig going on, and try to match in the titty boom booms. And I think I did all right.
I think you've done better than me. I mean, I shaved, but you know, that's...
I'm sorry. There's no way in hell I can do better than Geraldine. Absolutely not.
Look-
Gorgeous.
There's definitely a downside to it, because I'm going to be hoiking these up in between this and going over to the stage to sing myself.
Story of my life.
Oh my God! I tell you what excited me about Hares and Hyenas moving to Victoria Pride, because that's an iconic venue. That's something that was around well before we were born, because we're only 23.
Yeah, no, like 20, I'm 22. I thought you were the older one.
Yeah, only like by 6 months.
Yeah, no, not by much, not by much.
But what a fantastic venue, and to have that new home is wonderful.
The Victorian Pride Centre is an absolutely amazing space. And I just want to say one thing. It was, 5 or 6 months ago that we had the last Midsumma launch like this. It hasn't even been a year. The energy here tonight is amazing. It's emotional, it's wonderful, it's so good for not just the artists, we're able to get back out and do our thing, but the energy from the community right now is amazing. I can't wait till we hit January.
The joy. There's just joy everywhere.
So much joy, it's filling my gay heart with more gay love.
I know. I haven't been this happy for so long. Oh my God, Frock Hudson, you're going to be so busy. How are you going to keep your sustenance up throughout the festival?
You know what? I am on a strict diet of alcohol and hummus, and I think it does really well for me. No. Look, if this time has taught us anything, it's to take the space and time we need and put our energies in the right way. And I've certainly planned that way in a very good way for this Midsumma. And I'm looking forward to enjoying it with all of you, because it's going to be bloody wonderful.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. Pace yourself so that you can get all the way through almost 200 shows.
Well, yeah, it's what I've got to do.
Yeah. Frock Hudson, thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you.
Love you.
Our boobs are too big, we can't touch our faces. Thank you, Frock Hudson. We have another Vox Pop ready to go right here at the Midsumma 2022 program launch. Would you please welcome Mr. Todd Fernando? Hello! Oh my God. Actually better dressed than me, quite embarrassing.
Oh, look, it's very hard to do these days, isn't it? with RuPaul and everything else, it's very hard.
I know. Now, Todd, you are the I have to read this a little bit. Wait, Victorian Commissioner for LGBTIQ plus communities.
That's the one.
Now, how long have you been in that position for?
6 months I've been in the gig. Yeah. So I took over from the amazing Ro Allen, who's now the Victorian Human Rights Commissioner. And so 6 months in the gig. It's been fantastic.
What sort of a road was that for you? Like, where were you coming from that the next step was Commissioner?
That's a very good question. Look, I'd been working in in human rights for about a decade. And when I met Ro 6 years ago when they started in the position, I said to them, when you're done, I'll take it. And they turned around and was like, all right, put the work in. And so I did. And then here we go. They called me up 6 months ago and was like, you ready? And I'm like, no, but let's go.
So if you had to talk to somebody in a pub, as we're allowed to do now, how would you describe what your job is as Commissioner, if that's not too big a question?
No, it's not. Basically, any of the barriers that are left that prevent LGBTIQ plus folks from succeeding, from advancing, from being who they are in workplaces, in society, simply holding hands on a tram, those are the things that I work really passionately and very closely with the government to, eliminate those barriers and to make sure that we can do this here, free from discrimination.
I know, it's just such an amazing place, an amazing space. I was talking to some of the other Midsumma staff about how this whole precinct grew over years and years, and then to see the Vic Pride Centre as well, this new fantastic centre for everything. But I've worked in a lot of organisations that have been like Human Rights and Equal Opportunities Commission, and I know that the people like yourself are really passionate about what they do, and they are really passionate about everybody having these opportunities and having these fair situations so that they can be the best people that they can be. Would that be an accurate statement?
Absolutely. I want to be able to support you to be you. Yeah. And whatever that looks like for you, that's my job. My job is to be in there and to fight for your right to come out here and be as fabulous as you are.
I mean, I wouldn't fight for me like 9 o'clock this morning when I was trying to get my dog to do a poo. That's not worth fighting for. But she might think so. I don't know. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Do you have any venues that you're excited about visiting during this Midsumma?
Oh, look, I'm just excited about being able to meet and mingle and see people. I've watched many people here on screen for the last 6 months, like a weird, that You type of show on Netflix. That's what people tell me. But I'm excited to actually see people and watch their mannerisms in real life rather than on screen. So that's what I'm really excited about.
That's how tall you are.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look in this light. Okay. No ring light here.
Oh, it's completely different. I can see contour.
Yes.
That's intentional.
Yes. Okay, I'll just pop my ring light on now and away we go.
Thank you so much, Todd, for coming to chat to us.
Good night.
Oh, we're going to have the most fantastic night. Wait till you see who's coming up on the stage.
I already know.
It's not just me.
Commissioner, I already know.
Oh my God! Thank you. We've got one more very special guest in front of the camera here at the Midsumma program launch for 2022. It's a fellow performer of whom I am extremely fond and often jealous. Could you please welcome Valerie Hex?
Yes, hey gorgeous! Hi!
Oh,
I'm
so happy to see you. So you have got many, many hats, as well as being a director and choreographer and a performance maker of well over a decade. I mean, no offense, well over a decade. But also artistic director of Yummy as well, which I think has provided so much joy to so many people. What have you got coming up for Midsumma, though?
Well, Yummy will be performing in Midsumma 2022. We are popping up like mushrooms here, there, and everywhere. So grab it and try it. You might have a great trip or you might die.
Don't eat mushrooms that you just found somewhere. Got to go to an unnamed supermarket.
I joke, I jest, but Yummy's performing, doing some special events, and I am also running a show at the Bowery Theatre. It's called Impress or Revolt. It is a tribute to the life and legacy of Lee Bowery with his dad.
How did you? Can you tell us how you got in touch with Lee Bowery's dad?
Well, I opened up a phone book from 1985 and I scrolled through Sunshine Bowery.
Are you serious? I mean,
No.
I would believe that.
Everything I say is a joke.
Oh.
I got in touch with Lee Bowery through the incredible team at STAC, at St Albans Community Centre, and the Lee Bowery Theatre, for whom it is named after Lee Bowery.
And so, if you must forgive my ignorance, I have been around a while, a lot longer than you. But the Bowery Theatre is located in, is it?
St Albans. So, yep, it's not too far. You know, it's right near a train station, so it's easy to get to. Yeah, we are exploring the life and legacy of Lee.
And you were telling me some really interesting stuff backstage about the kind of people and purpose that you had with this show, and if you wanted to sort of see how Lee Bowery as an artist affected the history of us and where we are now. How would you explain that to our audience at home?
Well, I am interested in the lasting legacy of Lee Bowery. Lee Bowery to me is an iconic, quintessential boundary bushing drag artist. I mean, a shatterer of all norms. And I want to know how that legacy still exists today. So I've invited a whole bunch of young queens, all quite young, fresh, some baby queens, some a little more experienced, but very young. And I want to see how in the next generation how is Lee Bowery manifesting? Let's find out.
That sounds so exciting. I can't wait to see it. Gee, I hope it don't clash, but I can't wait to see it. And you'll also be performing a little bit later on the outdoor stage here at Malthouse.
Yes, definitely. We will be here. We will be moving the hips, getting back into it.
I can't recommend these guys highly enough.
Dusting off the old dance shoes. I think I still got it.
Hang on, you can pan down to these shoes, can't you? I mean, that's just disgraceful. It's rude how much bling's going on right now. Oh my God. I'm feeling positively underdressed, at least in the pedal extremities. Look, I'm wearing a nude. I haven't even bothered with a sock, like a stocking that's got a foot to it. Because I was like, I was going to take these off and walk through the sand. But no, bring that on.
Jogging in these. I really can.
You need more bunions, love. Give it time.
Get out the saw.
Well, I'm so grateful that you were here. I'm so happy to see all you guys backstage as well. And we'll see you up there very, very soon. So thank you, Valerie Hicks. Well, my name again is Geraldine Quinn. We've got a whole tasty selection of performers. I've seen a lot of them in the sound check, and they're very good. Like, they're disturbingly good. But sometimes, when you've been around as long as I have, you kind of have to accept that there's going to be those waves of generations. No, they're seriously great. They're all going to be up here on the Malthouse Outdoor Stage. We've had some fantastic Vox Pops here as well. I got a guy with a camera. I could just go over here and look, he's following me. This is just amazing. So Sam, how are we going? Got 2 more minutes. Well, okay, so I'll do a bit of stand-up. No, I won't really. We have got a few announcements to make though. We've got a few important dates, if you bear with me while I throw my cards around. I'm just multitasking. So this is our largest festival. It's been 34 years this year. We've got a couple of dates for the Pride March coming up. The festival's going to run from the 23rd of January through to the 13th of February. There's 119 venues, 22 full days. Don't forget the Carnival, which is on the 23rd of January. Big bang of an opening for the entire festival. And then we also have the Pride March on the 6th of February in St Kilda. So you've got so many shows to go and see. There's so many venues to get out there and get to. It's really important that you make sure that you do a lot of different venues, because there's so many great programs that they've worked very, very hard to put together, and that they're there to bring you all this fabulous work that they've been dying for 2 years in lockdown to just explode in a glittery mess all over every single one of your faces. So thank you very much. Are we getting ready to move on to the stage soon, Sam? Think so. Great. Love a bit of a hand gesture behind the camera. You got no idea what's going on. Once again, my name's Geraldine Quinn. Stay tuned. We've got so many fabulous acts coming up here at Midsumma program launch for 2022 here at the Malthouse Outdoor Stage. I'm smiling in a rictus grin. Welcome to the Midsumma Festival 2022 program launch. And now, to kick off the entertainment on the outdoor stage here at Malthouse Theatre, would you please welcome Geraldine Quinn, who definitely wasn't doing her own intro. My dress is a tripping hazard. As long as I make it to center stage, I'm fine. You keep on telling me that freedom is a state of mind. Go tell the ones we leave behind. Well, there ain't no doubt about it. It doesn't have to be this way. Can't turn the party out till everybody here can stay. To myself, I must be true. And my moment's overdue. So let the heavens shine a happy light on me. Everybody has the right to be, so I am, and I will, and I do. You know that I do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all the curry. You say it's all too much, and now you wanna close the door. Look what we could be reaching for. Well, it's shining in the sky now. The love we wanna rise toward. We won't begin to fly till everyone can get on board. To myself, I must be true. And my moment's overdue. So let the heavens shine a happy light on me. Everybody has a right to be, so I am, and I will, and I do. All right, am I gonna go for a stage dive? The answer is no. Okay. Can you do a robot with me? It's quite a long outro. I love the comment on this song on YouTube that said this would have been good for Eurovision if Casey Donovan sang it.
Well, good evening, and it is a beautiful evening for this celebration, what I believe we did 5 months ago. We're in the next year. So it is a celebration, and it's this coming together. And it's called Kamaji Rising, or Vetta Borne, meaning coming together. But this place here named it when Premier Steve Bracks was in, and it was called the Nagi, the celebration of theatre, song and dance. So here we go again. So it is a celebration
5 months, thinking we're in the next year, but this is great. That's Melbourne, isn't it? So creative. We can do anything in Melbourne. Melbourne's about Melbourne, and it's a beautiful city, and I'd like to pay my respects to the Mayor who's here tonight. And thank you, Sally, and to my other dear friend over there. Thank you. And to our Commissioner, our first Indigenous Commissioner. We worked together for 10 years and somehow we're still around, so I'm good. And to all of you, I just got a little bit nervous tonight, but that's all right, we're here. Thank you. I can see yous all. So firstly, I'd like to pay my respects to all of you and pay my respects to your ancestors. And I'd like to also pay my respects to the land that we now stand. And in the language afforded to me, it's Womanjika, Marambik Bik Bunurong, Namda, Barupton, Ata, Willem. Come with a purpose to our beautiful home, the lands of the two great bays, Nerm, Port Phillip Bay, and Merritt, Western Port Bay. And my name is Naui, Dr. Carolyn Briggs, and I'm the proud descendant of the Yaluk Willem, people of the Eastern Kulin nations. I'd also like to pay my respects to the Wurundjeri or Woiwurrung. They were unable to make it tonight, but I hold the fort. I live nearby, so thank you. It is my great pleasure to be able to welcome you all here tonight, but it is also my responsibility to ensure that you do come with a purpose, Womanjika. I do so not only on behalf of my ancestors, the Yalukit Willem, the Womanjika is come, asked to come, and what is your purpose for coming? And it is important that we pay respects to all First Nations peoples' lands on which we meet today. First Nations people across this continent we now know as Australia all share special connections to the lands and waters of their ancestors that has not been disconnected from since millennia, despite the dispossession, displacement and the discrimination that we've all experienced over the last 200 years. These connections date back to our creation stories. For the Yalukit Willem, our creation stories tells us of Bunjil, our creator spirit, who travels as an eagle, and how he created these lands and waters around where we meet today. He also created the Kulin people, and he taught them about the circular relationships they have with these lands and waters in order for us to be taken care of by these lands. In order for us to also take care of the land, we also had to adhere to our Wurrungi Bik, the law of the land, our customary laws. Much like our laws today, these laws dictated how we interact with each other and how we interact with the land and how we conduct ourselves whilst we're on other people's countries. The Bunwurrung Wurrungi Bik speaks of 3 Pacific laws. The first law is Yalenj, knowledge. It is our responsibility to have the knowledge, and once knowledge has been attained, we have the responsibility to ensure its survival, its continuation. We have the responsibility for our younger generations to maintain that knowledge and pass it down so it can be used for our future generations. We also have the law of Jambana. This law speaks of community, the importance of community, the importance of diverse communities, but are very much about a unified community. Our people of the Kulin Nation understood this power of diversity that is within our lands, that also increases our capabilities. It was always good to share stories and our different experiences. However, they understood how to utilise this very powerful tool. They had to identify a common purpose. And what are these things that we do have in common? Finally, the last law is connection to country, or we might call it honouring sacred ground, or papanata, paying respects to our past generations, the people who took care of the land before us, the people who have lived and died before we were here, paying respects to those stories and histories on the lands on which we live today. We're very fortunate in Australia to have 80,000 year plus years of human history. And it is always important to pay respects to that history, not only while we're here or at work or when we go home. And if we can adhere to those three Wurrungi Bics, I can say in the words of my ancestors once again, Wamanjika, Marambik Bik Bunarong, Namdeb, Barupton, Atta Willam. Come with a purpose to our beautiful home, the lands of the two Great Bays, Nungujin, and it's Gilbrook. It's about respect to all of you. Nungujin.
Thank you, Nuit, Dr. Carolyn Briggs, for that wonderful welcome to country, and before that to Geraldine Quinn for the wonderful musical introduction. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land that our offices are on and that we meet today, the lands of the Wurundjeri and the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nations, and pay my respects to their elders past and present, and also pay my respects to any First Nations community members who are joining us in person or online from lands far away. Our First Nations communities were our first storytellers and our first artists, and we feel privileged to share this country with such rich history, culture, stories and knowledge. A land where sovereignty was never ceded. It always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Hi, welcome to the 2022 Midsumma Festival program launch. Oops. Okay, don't touch the mic. It doesn't feel that long ago that I stood here last time announcing the last program, and that's probably because our 2021 festival, the last event of that, only finished 5 months ago. So it has been a little bit of a fast turnaround for us. And one unexpectedly, where planning and preparations again, of course, were interrupted by COVID and we've been in lockdown. So I'd like to acknowledge the challenges that many in our diverse communities have faced this year and many continue to face. We've heard the difficulties, we've listened and sought solutions to many of them, we've shed tears with many of them. But we've also shared smiles and joys around the many wonderful creative outcomes that have come forth and been nurtured. So we stand with you. It is so wonderful to stand here looking at so many live faces. And a big hi specifically to those online who join us. It's so wonderful to be able to use technology to extend our access and our reach through a streaming of tonight's event, because over 28,000 people joined us online during our festival early this year, so we really value that support. Wherever you're joining from tonight, we're thrilled to have you. I spoke last launch about how so many of us had felt so removed from the entertainment, from our artists, from our venues throughout 2020. And I could almost repeat that speech word for word. It's no longer unprecedented. But who would have thought back in April and May, when we were celebrating our belated mid-autumn midsummer, that we would be reopening again? As if we needed reminding yet again just how important our favourite venues are, our favourite artists, our favourite entertainment, and how important our community gatherings are for us. For the fabulous team behind Midsumma, and I'm sure for many of you, we again found ourselves day by day looking at each other through little Zoom screens, looking at how our events might be impacted, how we might be able to work within continuing and potentially unknown COVID conditions, wondering whether our summer dates would even be possible. Modelling the entire festival 101 ways and every single event within it, multiple ways to see what was possible. And also wondering just how long we could hold off actually making, cementing plans to ensure that our communities would have the best chance to be able to participate. And therefore, how quickly we could fit what normally would be a year's worth of work into a few short months or even weeks. But it also hasn't escaped us how lucky we are in terms of actual event delivery, being one of the only festivals that's been able to deliver a real festival in person of scale every year. We were able to do it in 2020, we were able to do it in 21, a little bit later than usual, and now announcing 2022. So regardless of the extra work and the toll that that's taken on us, that all pales into significance when you actually stand up here and look at all of you, and also know that very soon our artists will be again on our stages showcasing the vast diversity and creativity within our communities. And whilst there are still a few unknowns for us, it does feel like we're at the end of a tunnel looking out at the bright sunlight that is summer, because we're returning to our summer dates. Our festival is all about bringing everything that we do together for 3 weeks. And what an offering we have for you this year. It's as broad as any Midsumma. And we're excited to bring to you today the culmination of continued emotional artistic journeys from all of our artists. And we hope that you will support them and us and deepen your journey with us in 2022. And with that, and with the reopening of the arts industry in mind, I'd like to welcome to the stage the first of our guest speakers, the Minister for Creative Industries, Danny Pearson.
Well, thank you, Karen. And I would like to acknowledge the First Peoples and traditional owners of this land and their strong, vibrant, continuing culture and connection to country. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and to all elders who have joined us here today. Thank you, Nawit Carolyn, for your welcome to country. I'd also like to acknowledge the Lord Mayor and Deputy Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Judy Small and Karen Bryant, and the whole Midsumma team. Rachel Slade of NAB, the principal partner of the festival since 2013. That's a sensational effort from the NAB, so thank you. And Geraldine, and all of tonight's performers for giving us a taste of what's in store when the festival kicks off in January. We need Midsumma Festival maybe now more than ever. When our city comes together to support an event like this, it feels like something else. There's a buzz in the air, there's a spring in our collective step, a sense of community and connection, and how we have missed that. This summer, Melburnians are set to reacquaint themselves with that buzz, to remind ourselves how lucky we are to call this vibrant, diverse and creative city home. I'm thrilled to be with you tonight for the launch of the Midsumma 2022 program, perhaps one of the most hotly anticipated in the festival's 35-year history. Because not only is there plenty of fantastic art, music, theatre, cabaret, film and fun ahead of us, the festival will also create so many opportunities for rainbow communities to connect with each other. After the challenging times we've lived through, which we know exacerbated challenges some LGBTIQ plus people were facing, this opportunity to bring together people feels like a tremendous privilege. The Victorian Government is a long-standing and a proud partner of Midsumma. We share with the festival a commitment to allowing LGBTIQ plus people to be seen and heard and represented as part of a diverse and inclusive and creative Victoria. And we share an understanding that this beautiful diversity creates a better, stronger, healthier and more interesting society. Put simply, Midsumma makes us stronger and richer and a better community. And as a community, we've come a long way. But in preparing for tonight, I was reminded of a speech I made in Parliament many years ago, or a few years ago. And I talked about ancient Rome and the fact that you had one great emperor being Trajan, who was succeeded by another great emperor being Hadrian. And I said at the time, I yearn for the day when Victoria has an LGBTIQ plus premier replaced by and succeeded by another LGBTIQ plus premier. It's believable. It's going to happen. And when it does happen, we will be stronger and we'll be richer and we'll be better. Now, leaving the politics aside, the reality is that artists have a vital role to play, opening people up to new ideas, voices and perspectives, and enriching our lives. By supporting events like Midsumma, we are providing an important platform for artists and ensuring that all Victorians have opportunities to see themselves reflected on our stages, screens and gallery walls. Congratulations to the Midsumma team and everyone involved and associated with this program, and to the festival's many sponsors, supporters and friends who also share our twin passions for the arts and a more inclusive society. Thank you for your part in bringing Midsumma Festival to life. I encourage you all to spread the word about the program and get along to as many shows as possible. And finally, Midsumma is nothing without its artists. To all the creatives here tonight, I applaud your dedication, your commitment to your craft, and your tenacity weathering the storms over the last 20 months. It's a reason we're here, able to meet here, to celebrate this wonderful program launch tonight. Thank you so very much, and here's to a successful 2022 Midsumma.
Thank you, Danny. The support of the State Government of Victoria is so vital for Midsumma at critical times like now and always as we look to the future with inspiration. Midsumma is a very, very lean team of staff and volunteers in the office or for part of this year in our home offices throughout the year. And behind the scenes, there are a lot of individuals who offer support to us to help us stay on track, to make sure that we can get to today. So it's appropriate that I now welcome to the stage the Chair of the Midsumma Board, Judy Small.
Thank you, Karen. And I too acknowledge that we meet on the lands of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri Woiwurrung peoples of the Great Kulin Nation. And I acknowledge that the continuing connection to culture and to country of those peoples and all Aboriginal peoples in this country of ours. And I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. On behalf of my Deputy Chair, Michael Parry, Board Secretary Rhys Cranny and the whole Midsumma Board, welcome back to Midsumma in Summer. Like everybody else, it just seems to me like yesterday that we were here doing this exact same thing. And it's wonderful to be back at the Malthouse launching a Midsumma program. It's with a reinvigorated and partially reconstituted board, our indefatigable CEO, Karen Bryant, and her amazingly resilient and hard-working team of staff and volunteers that we launched the 34th Midsumma Festival tonight. With almost, yes. Who knew back then what this would become? We have almost, as you've heard, almost 200 events scheduled over the 22 days of the festival, beginning with Midsumma Carnival, and didn't we miss that this year? So on the 23rd of January, we will all gather again at Alexandra Gardens to kick off, I guess is the words, a festival exhibiting our community's unique pizzazz and bling, together with all our glorious diversity, all of which will be on display for a festival where our strengths and vulnerabilities, our talent and our inspiration are on show to the world through arts of every colour and every medium. Of course, we couldn't present this fabulous festival without our sponsors, and the generous support that we receive from donors. And first, we especially acknowledge our co-host for tonight's launch, our corporate principal partner, National Australia Bank, and all our principal and major partners. Alongside NAB, our principal partners are the State Government of Victoria through Creative Victoria, and for Pride March through Fairer Victoria, the City of Melbourne, and I acknowledge Lord Mayor Sally Capp tonight, and Deputy Lord Mayor Danny Pearson as well. The principal partners, well, they're our principal partners, NAB, State Government and City of Melbourne. And our major partners are the City of Port Phillip, where Pride March happens. We have several new sponsors this year, which is wonderful. First is Belong, who are a major partner this year. We welcome them for their first year supporting Midsumma. And we also acknowledge and thank Seek, which has moved up into the major partner category for the first time this year. Thank you. Our gold partners are AGL, Dan Murphy's, RACV, and for the first time this year, Barefoot Wines. Are you getting some idea of the... Yes. The diversity of our sponsorship is what I meant to say. Our silver partners, Australia Post, and of course they also hold naming rights to the annual Midsumma and Australia Post Arts Prize. Our legal partners, Cause Chambers Westgarth lawyers, who assist us more than is obvious to you coming to the festival. And our new silver level partner joining us for their first year, L'Oreal, because we're worth it. We also want to thank our project partners, the Richmond Football Club. Go Tigers, although that's very hard for this hardened Bulldogs fan to say. But we do very much appreciate the support of the Richmond Football Club, which has been with us for some years now. We also thank the federal government, who is a project partner through the Australia Council for the Arts, and we also thank Stomping Ground for being one of our project partners as well. And last but never least, our media partners, Joy. Where would we be without Joy? Yeah. Yarra Trams. Where would we be without them? Mr. Moto and Print Graphics, all of those sponsors and project partners allow this festival to go ahead. I also want to say a huge thank you on behalf of the board to all our individual donors to Midsumma. As you know, well, as you may not know, Midsumma is a registered charity, and any money you give us over $2 is tax deductible. So please do think, because we are reliant not only on our commercial sponsors, but also on our community donors to present this fabulous festival. And we especially want to thank our wonderful patrons, without whom we simply could not exist. And I believe their names are up behind me. While our events are spread far and wide over the 22 days of the festival, a large number of Midsumma events are centrally located within the CBD. And the support offered to us by the City of Melbourne as one of our principal partners over many years now has become vital to us. So now I'm going to invite to the stage the woman who taught me that the word pivot is so 2020. And we now describe the agility that we show and have shown throughout this pandemic. We no longer pivot, we pirouette. Please welcome to the stage the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Sally Capp.
Hello, everyone. Woohoo! Well, I'm absolutely delighted to be here tonight, and in good Midsumma form, we're changing it up a little bit. So speaking on behalf of the City of Melbourne, is me, plus our councillor Jamal Hakim, who heads up our creative industries portfolio and is well known to the Midsumma family. We love sharing at the City of Melbourne. On behalf of the City of Melbourne, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land across which we govern at the City of Melbourne. I pay respects to their elders past and present. I acknowledge their incredible care of the land and waterways as the longest continuous living culture in the world. I thank them for their patience as we start our truth-telling journey at the City of Melbourne as part of our commitment to reconciliation. And I am so grateful to everyone from our traditional custodians who are involved in helping shape our future as a city. And to you, Auntie Carolyn, it's lovely to see you too tonight. Well, how good is this? This launch tonight really signals that Melbourne is definitely back, the arts are back, festivals are back, and it is time to celebrate. If you haven't noticed already, Melbourne is in celebratory mode as we reopen. Our foot traffic is looking fantastic on the weekends, with and without protests, and we're really looking forward to welcoming more workers back to city workplaces. But as you move around Melbourne, you would have noticed that in our streets, venues, bars, restaurants, as the city reignites, we are thrilled to have a dazzling choice of events ahead of us. Events bring people back together. They couldn't be more important as we move forward. Well, that dazzling choice brings me to the razzle-dazzle that the folks at Midsumma do better than anyone else. This festival celebrates the vibrancy, the pure delight that comes from showing up as our true selves, being proud of our individuality and being proud of our talent. I'm still searching for mine, but I know I'm going to get there. At the City of Melbourne, we do love the marvellous medley of our collective individuality, and we are proud of the diversity that this liveliness brings.
Thank you, Sally. Can I just say first, and hi everyone, Jamal Hakim from the City of Melbourne as well. We have no stronger champion for inclusion and diversity than our Lord Mayor here, Sally Cap. I'd also like to acknowledge that we are meeting on stolen land, and I'd like to acknowledge Narwit, Auntie Carolyn Briggs. This is one of those events that each year we look forward to, and to hearing about the program that's coming up for Midsumma. I cannot wait to see what's coming. I know that this program is bigger than ever in a time when artists have had the difficulties of lockdown. Midsumma has been there and has supported artists in delivering, in enabling, and being able to express everything that makes our communities so strong. So well done. So Midsumma is not just about those 3 weeks, but there's 3 weeks of fabulous events, stalls, and so much more. Over 200,000 people attending. We have a year-long program around supporting young queer artists to deliver. And that's what all our patrons and the support that you do delivers for Midsumma. It is a festival that lifts the city's moods, it boosts our local economy, but importantly, it inspires and fosters diversity. It ensures that we are a more inclusive city. It is a space that allows us to ensure that we can walk hand in hand down Swanston Street and feel safe. So each summer, City of Melbourne is so proud to work and support with Midsumma so that we can see this uplifting program that champions the voices of people who have not been heard. It connects us, it allows us to belong. And in 2022, we're proud to present the Midsumma Carnival through our Events Partnership Program, because this carnival, in all its colourful glory, it provides everything we strive to be as a city. We're inclusive, we're diverse, we're accessible. We are striving to be a place of possibility for every single person. And we can't do it without you. This festival has been and will always be about strengthening inclusion. And we value that role that Midsumma has more than ever, because for some of our communities, we know that there is some way to go. Every single member of our community has to feel safe for us to succeed. And discrimination still brings real pain. I know that together, though, we have shown that we can triumph against bigotry, and we will do it time and time again. And Midsumma underpins these values. It is truly the festival for everyone. So congratulations for everyone for being involved, and bring on the summer. Woo-hoo! Thank you.
Thank you, Sally and Jamal. And what most people probably wouldn't know is that Jamal actually was on the board and was treasurer of Midsumma, and was also on the subcommittee of the board who recruited me. So I have a little bit of a fondness for Jamal. And thank you, Jamal, for convincing me first to come to Melbourne and entrusting me with this custodianship of such a special festival. Alongside many challenges, COVID has impacted on Midsumma's revenue streams. And I wouldn't be standing here tonight announcing this program, without all of our sponsors, as you saw on the board, old and new. We have a lot of representatives of our sponsors in the audience tonight, and every single one of you have made tonight possible and will make our summer festival possible, so thank you. Yes. We are lucky also to have had the loyalty of many groups who have stood with us over many years to gain the stability that's necessary so that we can support our communities through it all. And we've certainly had it all in the last couple of years. The ability to realise our dreams, the dreams of our artists and the dreams of our communities. So our co-host for tonight's launch is our principal corporate partner, NAB, and they've been standing with us for many years and with our communities on this journey as a key collaborator. It's never been as important as it is now, as we all work towards a post-COVID normality and reactivation. So I'd like to warmly welcome to the stage the last of our formal speakers, Rachel Slade, who is the Group Executive Personal Banking and Executive Co-Sponsor of NAB Pride.
Well, thank you, Karen, for that great introduction and an opportunity to speak. I promise quickly tonight, but I do love Midsumma. To Noe, Carolyn Briggs, thank you so much for such a heartfelt welcome to country. We are indeed truly lucky to live, work and celebrate as an LGBTI community on such a special place. I pay my respects to you and extend them to elders of other communities who might be here this evening or indeed joining us from anywhere online. It's exciting to be here tonight also with the Minister for Creative Industries, the Honourable Danny Pearson, and the City of Melbourne Lord Mayor Sally Capp, who I can also call my friend. And Jamal, we're not friends yet, but I reckon we could be. And Todd, hope you're settling in well to your new job. We're friends on all the socials. As the NAB Pride Executive Co-Sponsor, it's fantastic to be here tonight celebrating the launch of the Midsumma Festival program for 2022. The launch of the program is an exciting time for NAB and also at home for me with my family. As a parent to 3 kids, 2 of who identify as non-binary, we look forward to Midsumma every year. I'll take the program home and I know that by the end of the weekend we'll have a full list of events and activities to attend. And Danny, maybe I'm the mum to a future Premier of Victoria. Or 2. What we love about Midsumma is that through the diverse program of arts, culture and community events, there's always an opportunity for everyone in my family to celebrate their true selves. And while we did enjoy a march down Fitzroy Street in much milder conditions, we're looking forward to Midsumma being back in Midsumma. Diversity is also something clearly that we value dearly at NAB. And not just through our NAB Pride network, and hello to my fellow colleagues who are here this evening, but right across the bank. We're an organisation that is better because of a wealth of experiences, beliefs and backgrounds. And we believe that when you fully embrace who you are and you can be your whole self, you will thrive. We share that same commitment with our customers, so hello to all of our customers and all of our future customers, making sure that you are respected and valued for who you are, no matter how you identify. So after a challenging 2021, we're really looking forward to experiencing everything that Midsumma Festival has to offer for 2022. This is the 10th year that NAB has sponsored the festival, and each year we're excited to participate and attend the many events on offer. And after so much uncertainty and disruption, we're delighted to continue supporting the festival and the important role that it plays in Melbourne's LGBTI+ community. It's always a great time of year to connect and celebrate. And while it was disappointing not to be able to physically connect so much in the usual midsummer way this year, it was wonderful to be able to welcome an even wider audience. I was just gobsmacked by those numbers that Karen shared earlier. Midsumma presented the best of Melbourne's community to a much wider audience, connecting individuals and communities with so many special stories and experiences. And I and we believe that Midsumma really contributes to the progressive cultural values of all Victorians. It expands our thinking, influences our beliefs, and builds a stronger and more inclusive community. We are proud festival sponsors, and we passionately believe that everyone, no matter how they identify, has the right to be their true selves. Congratulations to Karen, Judy and the Midsumma team for putting together such a diverse and exciting program of events for this next year's festival. Each year I'm always amazed by the creativity of the new events that join the program. To all the volunteers and artists, thank you for injecting the festival with your energy and passion. I can't wait to see how you will bring Midsumma to life. And it wouldn't be possible without the hundreds of hours of your time that you generously give. Finally, to everybody that's planning to attend, whether it's your first time or whether you've lost count, we hope that you join us in being more out and more proud at Midsumma 2022. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your story.
Thank you, Rachel. And now to the part that we're really excited about, the Midsumma Festival program for 2022. Midsumma's always been about our cultures and our histories, but recently, in a very deep and meaningful way, it's probably been more about our current realities and our imagined futures. Recognising that our communities come from vastly different spaces and places, with different lived experiences, different expression, different perspectives and different needs. My hope is that we come together as diverse communities in this festival, knowing that we don't need to make someone else feel wrong to feel right ourselves, that we don't need to exclude others to feel included ourselves. And that in celebrating our differences and understanding them, we realise just how much stronger we are together. And what a life beyond exclusion might look like when we and the broader world can truly embrace diversity. In coming together in our favourite places and spaces like the Malthouse tonight, we realise that it's the us, in all of our wonderful diversity, that makes these spaces special, that makes these places and spaces come alive, resonating with our activations, our talents and our passions. As you've heard, there is 198 individual events in this year's program. That is bigger than any Midsumma recorded before. One of the staff asked me about 4 months ago, I think, we were still in lockdown, how many, what's the target? And I said, oh look, I'll be happy with 100 events. And we've almost doubled that. So I think that's a clear indication of how excited our artists, our venues and our communities are to get back out there. I wish I could talk to you about every single one of them, but we'd be here a long time, and obviously that's not going to be possible. So my job is to give you a little taste, to get you ready to dive into the program via your phones, your tablets, your computers, immerse it all, circle lots of things, put it in your diary. And yes, it all kicks off on the 23rd of January with Carnival. Carnival back after a necessary layoff earlier this year. Still free, same place, Still fabulous layout, multiple stages showcasing artists from all across the festival program, stalls, fun activities from late morning till early evening, and yes, even the dog show is back to show off all your new furry companions. And truly, the dog show is one of the most popular events at Cardinal each year. For us to meet ongoing COVID conditions, there may be a few changes. So please keep an eye on our website as we update you all on what the permitted conditions will be about entry. But we expect it to be pretty much like the carnival of old that we all love. And come along and enjoy the festivities. At Midsumma, our venue hubs are special places that commit to presenting a whole range of experiences and activities across all the festival dates. So I want to highlight them for you and thank them. They're a really great place as an audience member to start your journey with us. TheatreWorks, who have been a valued and productive partner with us for many years, transform into a provoking and proud Midsumma Festival hub. And they've got 9 Midsumma events this year to share with you. The Immigration Museum in the historic Old Customs House joins us as a hub for the first year. They were a great partner with us over the last few festivals, but this time they've jumped in completely with 5 events, including a couple of partnerships with us under the Midsumma Presents brand. And at the museum, you can relive the highs and lows of growing up at the Becoming New exhibition. You can explore hilarious and also heart-wrenching stories from more than 70 storytellers. Plus, for the under-18s, at long last, it's finally time to be able to dance the night away in person. In its 30th Midsumma year is Hares and Hyenas, and depending on your perspective, it's either the first or the 30th for its bold spin-off Hare Hole, with 5 shows within our event. And after a hugely successful inaugural program this year, Comedy Republic will return with a fabulous festival hub presenting 8 shows from stand-up to shows with amazing lineups and sketch comedy. And a regular favourite, Abbotsford Convent, returns with 7 events, including a number of partnerships with us that includes Fly the Flag for Queer History, with contemporary British artist Annabelle McCourt, accompanied by films that highlight Annabelle's wonderful and celebrated queer work, Electric Fence. And also at the convent, Mini Beast Disco will invite 5 to 9-year-olds to a big-hearted, community-minded, intergenerational eco-disco extravaganza. That's tongue-tied me a few times for practising this speech. And yet another hub, this time for the first time, is the Fringe Common Rooms. Get Bent Fest will return after last year. It's a 7-hour gala extravaganza. It was sold out last year, or this year, with rave reviews. And it serves a tasting plate of some of the best acts across the festival and beyond the festival. Midsumma West Side is a collaboration of Melbourne's West Side regional councils in partnership with Midsumma. It seems to get bigger every year, and this year it's got a massive 35 separate events. Live exhibitions, performances, storytelling, and a lot more. And talking west, Park Lounge, which started as a rainbow picnic in 2012, has grown into an evening of proud celebrations, and this year it's curated by Tristan Meacham and Beck Reed of All the Queen's Men. It's going to be an amazing eclectic mix of captivating performances in the park, Kelly Park in Werribee. Plus we've got a mini hub within the hub, which is Pride of Our Footscray. They've got 10 original shows, ranging from modern drag to cabaret to burlesque and even astrology. The importance of LGBTIQ visibility in the growing outer suburbs, in communities with rich intersectionality and cultural diversity, is something that's really important. So I'm really happy to encourage you to go west this year. And of course, our fabulous long-standing relationship with Gasworks Arts Park. We partner and present with them the Queer Playwriting Arts Award Showcase, developing and showcasing LGBTIQ playwriting at its very best, with excerpts from 8 finalists during our festival dates, and also the staged realisation of last year's winner, which also was the winner of the Mudfest Emerging Artists Award coming out. And this play delves into the relationships between queer women and their straight friends. Midsumma's strategic goals ensure diverse artistic representation and development are central to everything we do. Curatorially, a clear artistic vision underpins everything that we plan. We have a goal to strengthen LGBTIQ creative voices, whilst also developing our leadership position in this at the forefront of artistic development. As a key strategy over the last few years, we've developed a signature program every year. And this involves us commissioning a suite of new works from artistic communities which otherwise wouldn't be central to artistic conversations. These leadership programs aim to break new artistic ground in the development and profile of diverse artistic expression, focusing often on underrepresented artists and arts practice. This year, and/or is an artistic exploration of identities and celebration of intersectionality involving the commissioning and development of diverse queer, disability, deaf and hearing impaired communities. The concept behind and/or has developed from significant groundwork that we've been doing over a number of years now, striving to be a leader in access engagement both with artists and with audiences. All the projects within and/or are disability-led, exploring intersectional identities where people are labelled as and/or. And the projects include Elephant by Back to Back Theatre, which is an experiment in liveliness, embodiment, with projection, reflection, multiplicity and disappearance. It explores the space between life and death. It's part installation, part dance, part film. And a resourceful hero, struggling against incredible odds, is by Raucous Theatre. How does it feel when the heroes that are represented by Hollywood look nothing like us? Raucous Theatre unites with a group of queer and allied young people to explode the word hero into a million pieces. Jamila Main, who's a graduate of our Pathways mentorship program, returns, and also an incredibly successful artist, with Benched. Jamila will ruminate on athleticism within a disabled body, with an intimate storytelling technique about sport, about childhood and disability. And at the DAC Centre, there is Queer My Head. This exhibition celebrates the power of queer art making to clear our heads of cis-heteronormative expectations that can contribute to mental illness. The exhibition showcases LGBTIQ artists who have utilised their creativity to resist, repair, critique, subvert and survive. You can come and make some art at the Queer Tech IO Youth Workshop, and curated by the Queer Tech Art Collective. There'll be works by artists who identify as queer and disabled that will premiere online on the Queer IO website, but also offline in a special screening at ACME. And after that screening, you can join the collective to speak to some of the artists from the exhibition about their practice, current and future. At our Incinerator Gallery, we have Whole Self. It's an exhibition that illuminates the overlapping spheres of queerness and disability as an intersection of infinite possibilities. It navigates transcendent abilities to move between spaces, melding inner and outer narratives and celebrating and weaving a journey that's beyond barriers. At Footscray Community Centre, we have the Demographic Dance-Off Face-to-Face. This is an LGBTIQ plus deaf and disability-led work that invites you into an immersive dance experience. Collectively, and/or is a nationally arts significant program. And it will be what we hope is a springboard for future commissions where we seek to develop new professional queer disability work across all art forms in coming years. Paying homage to the importance of this program to us overall, this year's hero image for the festival has been commissioned by us from the artist Jacob Campbell, also known as Gongita, a visual artist based in Melbourne who was born deaf. A huge thank you to Gonkika for the fabulous vision in creating what I think is an absolutely stunning visual image and visual identity for us. And this is where I'm going to go off script a little bit and teach you all, well, I'm not going to because I don't know that I do it all that well, the sign for Midsumma Festival. We hope you all know that by the time we finish the festival. Since 2016, Midsumma has been proud to present the Midsumma Australia Post Arts Award. And this visual arts composition has established itself as the nation's leading queer arts award. It's in its 7th year, and finalists across all visual arts mediums will be selected and exhibited at No Vacancy Gallery. And we want you to come along and help vote for the People's Choice Award. We're also thrilled this year to be joining forces with Orchestra Victoria for the first time with 2 projects. The first one is something that is one of my personal favourites, Introducing Teddy. It's also partnered or presented in partnership with the State Library of Victoria, and it's suitable for ages 3 years and up. It's a new musical interpretation in its world premiere of author Jessica Walton's work, and it's a gentle story about gender for young people, brought to life by a narrator and the magic of live music by Orchestra Victoria. And Pride and Joy. The voices of LGBTIQ composers, well, they can be heard throughout music history, and yet so often omitted from historical retellings or program guides, and so from our collective memories. Orchestra Victoria have been presenting chamber music in their rehearsal studio for 6 years, inviting audiences to experience intimate performances and have a different kind of connection with the music, which is absolutely perfect for this project. So please join the musicians of Orchestra Victoria as they celebrate queer luminaries of the past and contemporary music voices of the future. In our 2nd year collaborating with Metro Tunnel, the hauntings off Scott Alley in the CBD will come alive with photographs by Joseph Mayer of contestants from Midsumma's this year. It's really confusing in years this year. From our last collaboration with Yurrumboi with the sold-out Miss First Nations. Queers in Science are back after our first partnership with them earlier this year with 2 really important queer-centred discussions, First Nations knowledge and neurodiversity. And MTC joins the Midsumma party this year with Fun Home. Based on Alison Bechdel's best-selling graphic novel about growing up and coming out, this is a multi-Tony winning award musical, and it comes to Melbourne following an acclaimed Sydney season. Finnegan and Smith smash hit, there's a lot of tongue twisters this year, Travelling Dance Hall, Barnstorm's Midsumma, packed with queer icons, queer performance, sequins and songbirds, with Moira Finnecane, Maud Davey, Mama Alto and a lot more. The ever-popular Homophonic is back with the wonderful Miranda Hill at La Mama Courtyard after 11 years of queer classical music. This is another one that's a personal favourite of mine. Fed Square comes alive this year with Trans Pride Concert, celebrating the trans community of Victoria like never before. And no longer contained simply by things like dates, the fun's going to continue after the core festival dates as Midsumma collaborates with NGV over 2 weekends in March, with conversations, exhibitions, tours, exploring queer histories and experiences and ideas both within and beyond the musician walls. And this will be presented alongside NGV's landmark exhibition Queer. So keep your eye on the website for more details of that one. And of course, Midsumma Pride March is on the 6th of February. Back to pre-COVID levels, where we broke attendance records in 2020 with over 10,600 participants. We hope to see this event and its post-March celebration resonate with all of the joys and colour and music that our communities can muster. And a special mention to the City of Port Phillip and Fairer Victoria, who work tirelessly with us each year to keep Pride March going. And then, as the Midsumma Festival for 2022 draws to a close, we're going to change gear. Midsumma is proud to deliver, on behalf of the State Government of Victoria, Melbourne Pride in Gertrude and Smith Street in Fitzroy, and also online on the 13th of February. And also with a whole range of connected statewide projects from December this year right through to February, all commemorating 40 years since the decriminalisation of homosexuality in Victoria. In preparation for that event, and all of our Midsumma events, we asked some of our communities what Pride meant to them.
So 40 years ago, you would get a criminal record for being a homosexual.
Back then, it would have been really quite dangerous and scary, and they would have been fearing for their lives.
I was being bullied pretty heavily and threatened physically.
Losing their jobs, getting beaten up in the street.
That was a really difficult time.
I spent my childhood and teenage years thinking every thought I had was illegal. Everything I did would put me in jail. And
I do remember that I cried myself to sleep every night for years.
People lost their jobs because they were gay.
I was moved from a teaching position to a desk job. It made people stay in the closet.
It was very dark inside the closet.
To the people that fought the fight 40 years ago, I can only say thank you.
And you fought and you got beaten up for it and shunned, and some people got killed. But because of what you did, we can live how we are today. So thank you, and I'm sorry.
I think we've come so far, but there's still so far for us to go.
You know, we still have a long way for acceptance for the trans community and for queer people of colour and for people living with a disability and the intersex community.
We are still pathologised from the very moment we're born. We are treated like we need to be fixed up by doctors, that we have to have surgeries to be normalised and to be non-intersex.
Definitely parts of our community, for example, the trans community and the intersex community, who are still kind of feeling like they have to hide in the shadows.
And when I came out, people really lost their minds. Everything from rocks being thrown out to being spat on to being banned from places.
There's a long way to go after that to get to where you want to be.
But the important thing is that we're actually on that track.
We should absolutely celebrate our resilience as a community. The fact that no matter what has been thrown at us, we have been able to overcome.
Those milestones deserve to be celebrated.
What's important is that we need to celebrate the people who did not get to experience that.
It's important that we celebrate who we are and celebrate us as a community, because we have suffered and we have gone through so much.
And we are proud, and that is worth celebrating.
Melbourne Pride will be a fabulous, history-celebrating, history-making event with multiple stages, stalls, shopfront theatrettes and exhibitions, and a lineup of over 75 artists. The full lineup will be announced shortly. We're keeping some things in our back pocket because, you know, you can't let everything out of the bag today. We've got to keep some surprises up our sleeve, but that will be announced very shortly, so keep your eye out. So as we clear away your plates for your entree this evening, look to the main course. All events are live online now. As always, we have a planner on our website that will help you to navigate and plan every day and night of the festival, because that's what makes you feel like you're going to a festival. There'll also be a special printed guide for your coffee tables for offline viewing, and that'll be available by the end of next week. For those ticketed events that jump out to you straight away, the last 2 years we have had a lot of sold out events and people have been disappointed, so don't let that be you this year. We have a ticketing information booth just up the back with Jason, so if you have any questions, please feel free to go along. Jason can help you out and answer anything that you might need to know. And if you need another reason for why you want to book early, we do have an early bird offer. So from tonight for 3 weeks, you can get 15% off selected shows. And also we have a special package, 3-show package, which gives you 10% off eligible shows off the full price ticket, and that's available right through to the end of the festival. Hundreds of volunteers each year make Midsumma possible. Yes, big, and in fact there's quite a lot of them here today helping us out. Registrations are open at our website and people keep coming back year on year, so I think they have a good time. So if any of you are interested, please consider joining the team. I'd like to offer a personal thanks to our board and to the amazing team of staff and volunteers that make up Midsumma on a day-to-day basis. Each of you inspire me each and every day with your commitment and your passion for our artists and our audiences. Thank you to Malthouse for this wonderful venue, for NAB for hosting tonight with us. A special thank you to those who are viewing online and to those who are behind the scenes making the online possible. And we hope that everybody will get online after tonight and start browsing through all of our events. I'd also like to thank our Auslan interpreters. And thank you for attending tonight. I'd now like to introduce our final performances to wind up the formalities, because after all, artists can get you more excited about the program than me standing here and saying whatever in a speech. We've got Vetta Borne with 2 songs for you, Girls and the new single, Kissing Strangers, and following that, to finish up our formal celebrations for this evening, Yummy. Happy Midsumma.
Hey, what's up? Thank you so much for having me. My name is Vetta Borne, and I'm so excited to be playing Midsumma next year. I can't wait. I'm gonna be playing a couple songs tonight, and I hope you enjoy it. This is a song about girls. You call my name, stepping on my soul. I know that face, I think you're letting me go. We don't have to wait, you can say it all. I don't blame you for letting me go. The present when I'm texting you 1,000 times. I guess I'll never be what you need. Do you even care about? She just wanna tell me apart, and ooh, I love it. Girls keep on breaking my heart. Can't you tell I'm insecure? But she just wanna tell me apart, and ooh, I love it. If I say I love you, would I make it worse? I'll bet you tell your friends that I'm the worst. I'm too emotional, swear it's so unusual when you just want it physical. Ooh, depressing when I'm texting you 1,000 times. I guess I'll never be what you need. but she just wanna tell me apart. And ooh, I love it, yeah, and I love it, baby. Do you even care? Do you even care? Do you even care about me? Yeah. Girl, yeah, breaking my heart. Ooh, hey. But she just wanna tear me apart. And ooh, I love it. Girls keep on breaking my heart. Can't you tell I'm insecure? But she just wanna tear me apart. And ooh, I love it. I love it, baby. Thank you. This next song is my latest single. It is called Kissing Strangers. If you want to find it, stream it on Spotify, stream it on Apple Music. Yeah, it sucks to see you cry, but I had to be the bad guy. You and I don't really try, we just stick around for old times. Yeah, I know right now you hate me. You do anything to shake me out, and it's okay to blame me because I let you down. Is she okay? 'Cause I know that I hurt her, and I know that I caused her pain. I swear I really loved her, but I had to let go. Trying hard to give you space, but I might have made the mistake. All those years gone down the drain. Now I heard you moving far away. Hey, and all your friends hate me. They do anything to sell me out. They put me down and shame me because I let you down. Is she okay? 'Cause I know that I hurt her, and I know that I caused her pain. I swear I really loved her, but I had to let go. Was she okay? Has she been kissing strangers? I wish I could take her place. I swear I really loved her, but I had to let go. I guess we can talk again. Can we talk again? And maybe after all the tears will be cool again. Just tell me that she's okay, 'cause I know that I hurt her, and I know that I caused her pain. I swear I really loved her, but I had to let go. Was she okay? Has she been kissing strangers? I wish I could take her place. I swear I really loved her, but I had to let go. I can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. No, I don't even know her. I can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over. No, I don't even know her. Thank you so much.
so yummy. Girl, you're so yummy. You look yummy. You look so yummy. You're so yummy. Yum, yummy, yummy, yum, yummy. Yummy. You're so yummy. Girl, you're so yummy. You look yummy. You look so yummy. You're so yummy. Yum, yummy, yummy, yum, yummy.
Baby, don't make me spell it out for you. All of the feelings that I got for you can't be explained, but I can try for you. Yeah, baby, don't make me spell it out for you. You keep on asking me the same questions, second guessing all my intentions. Should know by the way I use my compression that you got the answers to my confessions. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. So good, so good, so good, so real. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. I love it, so please don't stop it. You got me right here in your jean pocket, laying your body on the shag carpet. Oh, you know I love it, so please don't stop it. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. That's just the way you make me feel. 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 So good, so good, so good, so real. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way that I feel now, baby. Good God, I can't help it. Hey, that's just the way that I feel. Yeah, please, I can't help it. It's like a powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. Damn. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. So you make me feel. So good, yeah. That's just the way you make me feel. You make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. So good, yeah. Dance train is coming back again. Extravaganza, you should run and tell a friend. Kings and queens are posted at the bar. Bucking down, it's time to tip it off. I know you're always on that night shift, but I can't stand these nights alone. And I don't need no explanation, 'cause baby, you're the boss at home. You don't gotta go to work, 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 but you gotta go to work, 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 work. You gotta go to work, 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 work. Let my body go to work, 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 trying to get that rich. I've been working on my shit. Milk the whole game twice. Gotta get it how I live. I've been working on my shit. Now get that work. We run this mother. Nigga can't count. We run this mother. You better work, bitch. We run this mother. Nigga can't count. We run this mother. You better work, bitch. Now get to work, bitch. Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get in the physical. Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk. Let me hear your body talk.
Let me show you how to do it. By the way, what he said, he can tell I ain't missing no meals. Come through and fuck him in my automobile. Let him eat it with his grills. He keep telling me to chill. He keep telling me it's real that he love my sex appeal. He said he don't like I'm bony. He wants something he can grab. So I pulled up in the Jag, made weather with the jab like dun 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 dun.
Might get your song played on the radio station. I might get your song played on the radio station. Prove to me you got some coordination. I say, slave trick, or you get eliminated. I want it. I start yellow on it.